So yes, I waited. I waited a couple of days before I decided to speak on this situation because I wanted to make sure, did I agree with what happened at the Italy GP at Monza? Did I agree with it? Did I disagree with it? Did I feel like it was reminiscence of Abu Dhabi 2021? And I have come to my conclusion about the way I completely feel about it. And the answer is hell yes. Hell yes, it is reminiscence. And I would also like to say they did the right thing. They did the right thing here. They did. The problem is they didn't do the right thing last year. That's the problem. That is the problem. So first, we're going to give an opportunity to listen to a bit of an audio clip and just listen to what Lewis Hamilton says.
It always brings memories back that is the rules, how they should be read, and it's the only one time in the history of the sport that they haven't done the rules like that today, and that's the one where they changed the result of the championship. But it is what it is.
Yeah. That would be correct, Lewis. That would be correct. That is the one time they did not do things like it was outlined to do. So I know what a lot of people are going to say. First of all, like, subscribe, join the family if you like to. Zoom calls, all the other luxuries that we have. Building a good community here. It is awesome. Also, people are earning their points towards VIP boxes. We have our third tier 2 member. But let's get into this. People are not only saying some pretty contradicting shit, they are also saying things that I don't know if they realize it or not, admit that what happened last season was wrong. Like, people that are trying to defend the situation that happened in Monza, which benefited Max Verstappen in this situation, don't realize that they are therefore admitting what happened in Abu Dhabi last season that benefited Max Verstappen was completely wrong. All right? We also have certain pundits, people that were on camera saying that what happened in Abu Dhabi was a race situation. That, that's what it goes. They had a meeting. They all agreed to it. Massey made a decision and And then here in this recent same situation where we got plenty more laps before the race comes to an end. 47 was the marker of the safety car. 53 laps. That means we have 6 more laps to go. What was the delay for the safety car? I don't know what the hell that delay was. That delay in itself was a bit suspicious because we obviously called in the yellow flags when Vettel was off track. Here we have Danny Ricciardo sitting in an odd spot where the car is partially on the track and they're waiting to release the safety car. Why? Why are you waiting for that? I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that because that itself is kind of like, what the hell? Let's just stick to the point that they let 6 laps go by underneath the safety car where I thought we were supposed to be doing motor racing. I thought this was all about motor racing. But this time, they did it right. They finished the race under the safety car, in which they didn't do last season. So I will hear it. They had a meeting and said they weren't going to finish a race under the safety car. That meeting is not in the regulations, nor is it in the regulations that says, now listen to me, because a lot of you all are going to comment, but you're not listening. You just want to rattle off your jackass comments. It says that Massey, as race director, can implement said protocols whichever he deemed necessary. It does not say that Massey can reconstruct a protocol and implement it in any way that he sees fit. It does not say that. They did not unlap the cars as they should have been and as they have. There's only a few times where races have finished under the safety car, and the one time that is completely different than all the other times that they finish under the safety car is in Abu Dhabi. Now here it comes, Max, in a race where he's never won at Monza. By the way, Ferrari on their shit. Big shout out to Ferrari. You actually were doing well that race with strategy and everything. I thought, well, you kind of had a blip in strategy where you called Charles in a little prematurely, I think. But, other than that, you were running pretty good. But here it is. Max in a position to win a race that he hasn't won, which was a lot of talk about that. Like, will he win at Monza? Will he win at Monza? By the way, Lewis Hamilton, far many more wins at Monza, poles, all this other good stuff. But, by the way, also Lewis Hamilton starting 19th, sinking back to 20, and then coming up to 5th. But anyway, by the way, Sainz also having a hard, nice ride. By the way, Nick DeReeves, plenty of people, Good drives for everybody. But let's stick to this shit. Max, I'm not debating that Max would have or would not have won that race if they went motor racing. I'm not debating that it was also kind of odd that they delayed calling the safety car in and then the safety car delayed and all that stuff to benefit maybe where certain people were in position on the track and maybe benefited more from a pit stop, which Russell benefited greatly from a pit stop and a safety car. And Charles got shafted by the safety car going in and the light went green. And Russell has benefited from many safety cars, but Russell finishes top 5 anytime he finishes a race. Big shout out to him. Future of Mercedes is looking quite good with that gentleman right there. I just wish he would grow a bigger pair and say things real. Stop trying to appease people with some of this shit you say. But what some of you do not realize is now you make statements like, oh, y'all wanted the race to finish on the safety car. Now it does, and now you don't. No, that's not the point. That's your point, because in your mind as a cheater who probably supports a driver who really technically did not win the championship last season. Say whatever you want about, oh, he had more race wins. Okay, yeah, but this is the hardcore point. Don't bring the racing incident shit to my door. Don't bring the race wins, because Lewis Hamilton had race wins too, and it's not like Max had race wins far beyond Lewis Hamilton. Let's not do that number game, because if you look up the stats, you're not going to see like Max had 6 more race wins than Hamilton, probably not even 5. The point is this, and this is the hardcore fact. They went into Abu Dhabi even points. Period. You can't change that with none of the other shit you're going to say. They went in to the championship race, which was going to determine who the champion was, bar they don't have a collision together, and then Max would be granted the championship. But that's not what happened. He would be granted the championship because indeed he did have probably, 1 or 2 more race wins than Hamilton that season? Something like that. Regardless, he had more. That's a fact. He had more. So if they had a collision and both were unable to finish the race, Max would get awarded the race based on that. Similar situation like kind of Schumacher, Damon Hill, when he wrecked him off the track. But that's not what happened. What happened was Max was getting his ass outperformed heavily. And you know it. And I think something about that bothers you all to even admit that Max was getting gapped by 10 to 14, 13 seconds. He was getting his ass beat in that race. You don't like to admit it because you don't want to try to be real about it, but he was getting his ass beat in that race. He was getting mopped in that race. You can't answer this question, because if you answer this question directly, you'll have to admit what you already know, that Max technically did not deserve to win that particular race, which was going to crown either him or Lewis Hamilton as championship. And this is the question. Does Max win Abu Dhabi without the Massey manipulation? Yes or no? Remember, 10 to 14 second gap. Remember that. Keep that in mind before you answer yes or no. Does he win that race without the manipulation and the deconstruction and the improper implementation of regulations, or therefore scandal in Abu Dhabi? Yes or no? I don't need a bunch of other explanation. I don't need a bunch of other your ranting. It's yes or no. Do you want $1 million? Yes or no? I don't need to know how you want it, how you want to deposit it. That's not your problem. You just need to say yes or no. What does he win? The answer factually is no. Max does not win that race. Even with the extreme defense from Perez, he does not win that race. That's clearly factual. He does not win that race. So, I also like this. I'm very good at like trying to see what somebody's temperature is in similar situations. I want to know, are they keeping it real? If you go back in Abu Dhabi, I remember Max was not in favor of finishing a race under the safety car. He wasn't. And they didn't. So why is it this time Max finds himself very pleased with finishing under the safety car? I thought you was a real G. I thought Max was supposed to be a real G, y'all. I thought he was a real G about that race life. Why wasn't Max on the radio like, yo, when we gonna start this race back up? Yo, when is the safety car gonna get off? Are they going to red flag this race so we can finish this race like the right way? Max wasn't saying none of that. That's how I know the temperature of somebody's character. That's how I know. Because in Abu Dhabi, he was like, oh, of course they will. Of course they are going to finish under the safety car. He was complaining about that. He wasn't happy about that. So why would you be happy about finishing behind a safety car here? I mean, if you about that race life, you about racing, right? You about motor racing. No, he wasn't. So that's another strike on his character. I'm not saying anything about his driving skills and capability. I'm talking about his character. Keep the same energy. So many people now in this race at Monza in Italy, 2022, saying the race they believe it should have been red flag so they can start all over again. Now, do I think if they start that race over, Max still doesn't win? I'm leaning toward Max still wins that race. Or I still think it's possible with the Ferrari pace and the way things were going, possible Charles edges him out. But the point is, they finished under the safety car when there was clearly other options not to, and to actually finish a race, because the Ferrari fans, the fans at Monza, the fans of Italy, fans that came out, period, did not like that very much. They booed the shit out of that. And I don't hear a bunch of you all with the clamor about Max getting booed at this race. I don't hear much of that clamor. I don't hear you talking much now. It's not like, what is it only if he gets booed at Silverstone that you're willing to open your mouth and say something? Is that it? Is that what it takes? Okay, probably got similar energy as Max. Okay, got you. Check. None of this is against Max that I'm saying. All of this is about keeping the same energy. They further pretty much amplified the fact that Abu Dhabi was indeed incorrect all the way. And you actually, if you have this standpoint of trying to say, oh, you want to finish under safety, you actually say that Abu Dhabi was wrong as well. If you're saying that it was cool for Max to win under the safety car, you're saying in Abu Dhabi they screwed up. That is what you're saying. Without you really knowing that you're saying that, that is what you're saying. So yes, they did right, and it proved that they did wrong. Proves Lewis Hamilton indeed should have been the world champion of the 2021 Formula season, because I don't think there were 6 laps left in that race. Matter of fact, it wasn't enough laps for them to finish unlapping the cars in that race. But here you have 6 more laps from 47 to 53, where you could have done everything correctly and still had a few laps of racing, of motor racing. But you didn't. Why? Why? I mean, I'm cool with the safety car because it should have been done last season, but your change in energy and temperature and shit that you're doing just further proves that you're losing a fan base. And a lot of you want to be like, it's new fans. It's not new fans. I have family members. I have people in this community. When I say family members here on YouTube, they have been watching this sport and they're 60 and 70 years old. Watching this sport for 30 years or better, probably longer than you, people that are in my comment section leaving a bunch of heinous, dumb bullshit. You call yourself a true Formula One fan, and you probably been only watching for 5 years. It doesn't matter. If you're a fan of Formula One, you're a fan of Formula One. Do you not realize that Formula One doesn't survive if new fans don't come in? You do realize that, right? You do. If you don't, it's probably why you don't own a business. Because a business needs thriving customers and a client base consistently of growth to maintain and survive from year to year to year. Just simple economics, people. But yeah, no, they screwed up. They screwed the pooch. They did right to prove they did wrong. So we're gonna come out with more content. I will be live this weekend. Definitely will have an unveiling of a piece that I had. It's a tribute and a salute piece. I will be putting that together so I can unveil it on one of the lives coming up this week. So stay tuned for that. And let me know what you think below. By the way, all the negativity, think that I'm want to thank you for that. Thank you. All the people that are positive, I love and appreciate you for that very much. All right. Peace. Thanks for watching another episode of Wolfpack Performance. Don't forget to check out some of my other content on Formula One and motorsports topics. Like, share, subscribe, and we go live on the weekends. See you soon.